everyone. Hey everyone. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Just a quick update. Now that we are 5 videos deep into the Shane Dawson, Ryland Adams saga, I created a playlist, Shane Dawson Reloaded, where you can all catch up if you want to keep up to date with their ongoing melodrama. Okay, all set? Let's take a look at what happened on episode 3 of the Shane Dawson podcast.
Yeah.
Chris, how are you healing?
I thought we were on the same page.
Huh? What?
How are you healing?
What do you mean?
Sorry, that's what Lizzo says. How are you feeling? Is
Good.
everything good?
Yes.
Are you good? Are we rolling?
Yes.
Oh, this is happening. Oh my god.
How are you healing? Is that like what she's trying to
How
say?
you healing?
Is that no?
Yes,
That's the lyric?
Yes, because it's all about like coming back after like a long break. I wrote the song. Jared, how are you feeling? How are you healing?
You know, I'm healing all right. I'm healing all right. You know?
Chris, you always outshine us. What are you dressed as right now? You look so cool. You're wearing a black leather jacket. If you're an audio listener only, which by the way, thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe. Hit that 5 stars. But for audio listeners, Chris is dressed like a 1950s.
Greaser. It fits you perfect.
Thank you.
I'm
Do you really
jealous.
think so?
Yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Can I just add something here for all of us to understand? It's okay to admire the way someone looks in clothes. It's even better to compliment said person about how much you admire the outfit they're wearing. But to then have the words, "I'm jealous," be the next words to come out your mouth is a problem. Now, shout out to everybody in the comments section who tipped me off to this video of Ryland on the SIP podcast.
Anyways, I got my ears pierced. So cute.
Looks so good.
Oh, thank you, Christopher. No, I walked in and Chris was like, "Are your ears pierced?"
No, first he said, "Did you get new earrings? Did you get your ears pierced?" And he can't stop smiling at you like you had a baby or something.
No, he looks so good.
He's super cute.
First off, I'm usually lost in his baby blue eyes, which
Right.
just
Oh,
that's all you
wow.
can get.
Seems like he's coming
But-
on to me.
He's literally engaged.
Oh, sorry.
My husband wants Chris more than he wants me.
No.
Quick lesson on jealousy. Now, if Ryland were to say to Chris, "Hey Chris, I'm jealous of how affectionate my fiance is towards you," that would make sense, because Ryland would have an obvious expectation that Shane's affection should be for him and not another. Like, that would be a legit gripe. But Ryland here saying he's jealous of Chris for superficial reasons is something he needs to work out within himself. To everyone else, work on making your mind and body the best it can be so you can admire another while still loving yourself. Because you know what you'll find? Pretty much nobody is satisfied with how they look. So if you looked like them, you wouldn't be satisfied either.
Okay, before we get into it, hey guys, I feel like we haven't really said hello yet. How are you guys healing? Let us know in the comments.
What is that, Chris?
It's a comb. It looks like a switchblade.
Is that a knife?
It looks like a knife, but it is in fact a comb.
Wow.
Wow, it's right.
Yeah, that looks pretty serious, dude.
You want to feel it?
Why
No.
am I turned on when you flip the knife
Shane.
out? What? Get a knife. Keep me interested.
Yup, that's the perfect dynamic Shane set up for himself. Ryland is tasked with keeping Shane interested. Shane can be his worst self, and Ryland has to take it to stay in that mansion. Now, mind you, there are people who have this same relationship dynamic, and they aren't living in a mansion.
Is there something sexier about the fact that it's a comb? Like, would it be sexier if it was a real knife?
Yes.
Okay, remember this statement because I'm gonna come back to it.
Okay. Hey guys. Joe, but before we get into that, I think we need to address something that is going to become a problem.
I question my life every day because of this.
What?
Wow, the build-up, dude.
Well-
You guys are doing, you guys
Well-
are doing great.
Okay, here's the thing. So our plan, sorry, I'll include you next time when I say it. Our plan was to go back to Colorado to our other house.
Our house. I mean, we literally, like, we weren't even supposed to be here now. This house was supposed to be sold.
I remember watching a Ryland vlog where they were talking about renting out their house in California.
Hello, you guys. Okay, so there is a lot on today's agenda because we're currently trying to prepare this house for us to go back to Colorado. In doing so, we've decided we're gonna explore like 3 to 6 month rentals because I'd honestly prefer to have somebody occupying the house. There's just like a ton of little things that need fixing if somebody's going to pay to rent the house.
They're saying something a little bit different now, but okay, whatever.
Wait a minute. Oh my God, I just realized something. Hold on. Oh, I'm excited. You'd say we're fighting, right?
I mean, of course, we're always fighting when we're on a podcast.
Okay.
Sure, Ryland. I don't know why you still expect us all to believe that.
Uh-oh, here we go again. Fight with Shane and Ryland. Fight with Shane and Ryland. Shane and Ryland.
See?
So you're
now
trying to...
It lightens it up a little bit.
No.
This is another warning for people who believe someone who insults you, then tells you is just a joke, is in fact joking. That person will keep it up as long as you let them. Plus, they'll add others to insult you and then make a theme song to spur it on further. Again, if you let them. I say, once you recognize someone is getting into that pattern of jokingly insulting you, you nip it in the bud early. Now, if it continues...
Oh, that means you paid somebody because you want us to fight on the podcast. Like, that's all that tells me is
No.
He went on Fiverr and was like, write a song about how we fight so that I can pick fights and have a theme song for our fights.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, let me read this message out for some of you who might not be looking at the screen. You have to hear this. This is what Shane wrote to the songwriter. My name is Shane and his name is Ryland, and I think the segment will be called Fights with Shane and Ryland. We usually argue about very dumb coupley things, me being too sensitive, him bickering at me about stuff, etc. So anything with those themes would be fun. Thank you! Give me a thumbs up for my dramatic reading. But here's the line right here that I want you guys to focus on. Is when Shane wrote, me being too sensitive and him bickering at me about stuff. That's the line. So this is a question to everyone as outsiders looking at a glimpse of the relationship they show us on YouTube. Is Shane's depiction to the songwriter accurate? Because here's the thing, it doesn't matter if it's accurate or not to us. This is clearly how Shane perceives his relationship. He's the victim of Ryland. You can't write this. Shane thinks he's too sensitive and Ryland constantly bickers at him. Ryland, that's how he describes you in a business email to a stranger on the internet. Think about that.
I just knew that, once in a while we get to fighting. And it's okay. It's healthy, I think.
Okay, see? Shane adds the I think because even he knows it's not healthy. He knows. But he loves to have the ability to act out and have another partner who takes it while not in the least bit think he has to change or he needs to change. Be careful of someone like Shane who has the money for therapy and has been in therapy for a long time, according to Shane, yet still acts the way he does and doesn't see a problem with it. He sees nothing wrong with treating the person closest to him like garbage, and that's fact.
Are we going to work it out?
Yes, we're working it right now. Yeah, a lot of things happened. We came back here to sell this house. We got cold feet. We didn't want to sell it. Then Jared was like, you should film a random podcast. Just try it out. So we did. Now I love it. And now this is my passion. This is my thing. I had a lot of caffeine today, so I'm losing my mind. But I am I'm like, I love this podcast. I want to do this. Like, let's do this. And what do we do about Colorado? We have to go back soon. How are we going to do this? Like, what do we do? So now we don't know what we're doing. Are we going to go back to Colorado? How are you guys going to get there? Am I going to come back here to do the show? So there's a lot of questions up in the air.
Are you all going to be fine if it's a different location is what Shane's
Yeah,
saying?
I'm fine with it.
Well, no, I
attached to this
ordered-
corduroy couch.
I ordered this exact couch for the Colorado house because I'm like, I have to have the same vibe, but then it was like too expensive to ship. So there's a lot of things. I don't know. I didn't expect to have a podcast, with fam. That's you guys. I didn't expect this to happen.
Bing bong.
So what do I do? You guys think we should keep doing the show?
I look forward to this so much. I'd be so sad if
I'm
we
gonna
stopped.
cry. Oh my God. I look forward to you so much, Jared.
You know, I think that we got something good going here. So it feels like something in motion should stay in motion. And I feel like we're in motion here. So it'd feel like it makes sense to keep it going.
So are you guys willing? I mean, obviously I'll pay for travel, but are you guys willing to come to Colorado?
Yes.
You know, like,
Yikes. You see how fast Chris said yes? Chris, not even going to check in with your boyfriend first before you say yes to going away for business trips? Not even a quick check-in?
once a month-ish, and I come here once a month, and then we make it work.
Jared's like, oh,
Yes.
fuck.
I mean, I feel like with modern technology and the transportation available to human beings, we got this. I ain't even worried about it. You tell me.
Well, are you
dude,
talking virtual or are you talking a
say,
plane?
No, man, fuck the Zoom shit. We
Okay,
ain't
that's
doing
what I was
all
saying.
that. Because I think the whole thing is the vibe is us being in the same room.
All right. I mean, listen, I want to keep doing this show. It's honestly, and I'm not just saying this, and not because I'm drunk and also high on caffeine, and thinking about Chris murdering me. And you too. I'm saying this.
Remember earlier when I said to remember this statement?
What? Get a knife. Keep me interested.
Is there something sexier about the fact that it's a comb? Like, would it be sexier if it was a real knife?
Yes.
Notice, okay? Because this is the first time that I can remember that Chris didn't laugh at one of Shane's jokes. Why? Because rightly, Chris realizes that someone calling him a murderer, even in jest, is not a laughing matter. But guess what? If Shane would have directed that joke to Ryland only, Chris would have been laughing like a hyena as usual. So why is Chris not laughing now? Because Chris is just getting a taste of what Ryland has to go through, and even he can't handle that. But guess what, Chris? There will be more to come. Shane's just getting his feet wet.
Really, genuinely, this is the most fun I've had making something, and also the most proud I've been of something, I think, ever. And I don't want to stop. So thank you guys for doing this with me. Thank you, Jared, for pushing me to do this and inspiring me. And thank you, Chris, for just coming to set looking beautiful. And thank you to Ryland for
Here he goes.
No, thank you to Ryland for being the asshole. I feel like it's fun.
Or for being supportive, or for
Supportive.
being loving, for
Loving.
showing up for you.
Totally. But also being that little bratty fucking asshole that we love.
In case there are people still not getting it, and I know all the regulars here know what's going on, but bear with me as I clue it in to all the newbies. A loved one saying your best quality is being, and I'm going to censor myself, okay? Is being a jerk, is not, never has, and never will be a good statement. Shane is saying he loves a horrible quality in Ryland. There is no way anyone is going to convince me that being a jerk is a good quality. And Ryland, that's the best thing Shane can fix his lips to say about you? You should be sad about that. Because Shane could have said you're confident, you're self-assured, you're resilient, and yet he chose the word jerk. And can you imagine Shane, with the history he has all over YouTube, is calling someone else the other word for jerk? The gall. And just as an aside, anyone who declares to you that they are a jerk and will start treating people poorly because for some reason they think people respond positively to jerks, run, don't walk away from them. That declaration is only them letting you know how they intend to treat you too, along with everybody else.
I don't know if they love it, but like, I mean, but no podcast is fun if you agree with all four of the people. You have to disagree with somebody or it's boring.
Poor Ryland doesn't know the difference between disagreeing with someone's opinion for an entertaining show versus insulting someone's character for giggles. Ay, 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 ay.
Right.
And I think assholes are underrated. You know, imagine what life would be if you didn't have an asshole. You wouldn't be able to poop. You know? I think asshole is a crucial part of
I agree.
of anything.
I agree.
Laugh it up, Ryland. You don't even realize that he just compared your personality to excrement.
Well, then, okay, we'll keep doing the show. If you guys want it, give us a like. Let us know in the comments. Do you want us to keep doing the show? Because it's going to be real complicated, but we're going to figure it out if that's what you want. Because that's what we want.
No, but like I really want, like literally all that I do is work, and this is like the one time I get to work and hang out and talk, and like I get so excited now. Like when I get closer to the day, I'm like, oh, I get to talk to like my friends.
You notice Chris whispered the words friends with little to no confidence? That's good, because I'm glad not even he believes his own lies. Listen, if you are working for someone, odds are they are not your friends. It's a business relationship, especially if you have a job like Chris, where he's not working for a company, he's working for a person. He better be sure there is a line in the sand. Because once Chris starts to believe Shane is his friend, he's going to be working extra hours for the podcast without appropriate pay. Wouldn't be surprised if it's already happening to Chris right now.
I love it. Okay, well, here we go. Let's jump into it. All right.
Chris is cool, he's from Peru. His Peruvian facts are fun for me and you.
Okay, Chris, I have a surprise.
Okay.
I know that you think we're about to do Peruvian facts,
Okay.
but we're actually going to take a break from Peruvian facts for a week
Okay.
and focus on the other side of your heritage.
He's half German, he's so bright, he's a factual delight. Are you ready for some fun? German facts with Chris.
Is that the same girl?
Okay, y'all, I have a lot to say about this segment of the podcast, but we're going to let it rest for now because I want to watch to see where this leads. If you have already been paying attention to what I've said about Chris in earlier episodes, you'll kind of know where I'm going. But for now, we will watch and see how this segment progresses.
I literally didn't even hear you because I can't with the accent. It's so good. I wasn't even focusing.
Wait. I was focusing. Is it
Okay, here's something else that happens here. Please believe I'm sparing you the details, but I want to show you this part right here.
They had to do it at my high
I mean,
school,
there's
too.
towel maneuvers that you could do. You could just leave your towel
Shut
and
up.
put your boxers on.
You're not a part of this.
You know,
This is an important message for anyone who is willing to hear it. If you resort to being someone's garbage can, don't be surprised when they load you with all their trash. It's not fair for you to have someone in your life who's in a bad place, and because they're in a bad place and they know you care about them, they in turn unload all their negativity onto you, repeatedly, with no end in sight. Don't do it. Just don't. Because you know what will happen? When you finally tell them you can't take it anymore, guess what? They don't care. Because you've taken it for so long, they think, why can't you take a little more? Y'all, run, don't walk away if you can, because it will never end, never in capital. A circle is continuous. So are those types of relationships. Think of yourself as a flower, a beautiful flower. You need water, soil, sun, and some bees to grow strong and healthy. A little shade and darkness is okay because it'll give you some time to soak up all the rainwater. But too much darkness, and you will wither and die. Okay, that's where the analogy ends because the rest will make sense. But pick yourself up and move away from that constant negative energy so you can thrive in life. Please understand what I'm saying to you listening right here. I would say to the people closest to me, you deserve better. But that statement only matters when you believe it too. Okay, let's go on.
Question. Do we wear shirts when we go swimming? I'm going to start with me. Yes. If there's a bunch of people around, I will wear a shirt in the pool. If it's just me and you, I won't. Jared?
so if I'm going to the beach, for sure, I'm wearing a shirt. One, because I'm embarrassed.
Yes.
Two, because the sun. You know, I don't want to get overly sunburnt. It's too much sunscreen on my whole body, but it doesn't even matter because of the first one. You know, it trumps the second one anyways.
I always swim with my shirt off, but I hate my body, which is interesting. Like when I have my shirt off, I'm like extra sucking in and extra like sitting in certain ways and extra like I'm self-conscious about it the whole time. But yeah.
Oh, I just included this part to reinforce my position earlier that I said that most people, no matter how they look, are not happy with their bodies. So to me, it makes no sense to envy how someone else looks because if you had their body, you would find problems too. Why? Because nobody's perfect and nobody ever will be. So at the very least, be content with the body you have and be healthy and treat it with respect. Because if you're not happy with yourself first and foremost, you won't be happy at all. Start with yourself first.
Listen, my goal for before I die is to go to the beach or go into a public area, a water park maybe, and take my shirt off. Whatever my body looks like, I don't know if I'll ever get ripped or anything, but like I need to do that once or else I'm going to die sad.
You're sad?
Well, I've never been able to go to the beach and just be a normal person. I always have the shirt on and then I'm like self-conscious and I don't know why. Even when I was like at my skinniest, I was too afraid to take my shirt off and I don't know why.
Here's the thing, right? Because maybe, going to the beach is intimidating for everyone in some sense, right? Think about it. It involves taking off the majority of your clothing around strangers. People aren't used to doing that just in general. So you might have a little bit of complex there somewhere in your brain. So it's okay, like Shane, that same insecurity you feel, other people feel it too, who you may think have better bodies. It's just a thing that people feel. But Shane, if that's your goal to go to the beach and not feel like you're intimidated or feel anxious, I hope you're able to reach that goal sooner rather than later.
Would you feel any more comfortable if you were at like a bear event and it was like all big dudes?
Hey, Ryland, can I go to a bear event?
No, I mean,
take my shirt off.
Those are things, but it's like all big dudes. And I think other big dudes feel more comfortable. Isn't it strange that we're all in a relationship with someone who thinks we're like the most attractive thing in the world?
Oh, Shane.
I think that's how it works, though.
Ryland does.
Oh my gosh.
Ryland does. I can tell how he looks at you.
I mean, we have this is weird to say, but we have a very good sex life, and I don't think that would happen if I wasn't attracted to you.
Really?
Yes,
You don't
of
think my arms
course.
are weird?
No, I don't think.
What?
No, and especially the things that you like least about yourself are things that I think are great on you, like your legs and your chest. You're always like, I have like pork chops, is what you call them.
My
But I
legs.
think your leg.
My pork chops.
No,
Y'all, see, this right here is why I don't like Shane's pig branding. I know I told you all before. I know it's coming from a place of insecurity, not confidence. His merch is covered in negativity. Again, I already talked about this before in the series, so I won't drag on about it. But I still have that belief. So let's continue because things are about to take a turn for the worst.
I think when you're out there dating, if you're looking for someone, maybe say yes, swipe yes on someone that maybe isn't necessarily your type because you never know. You might find a bigger connection.
I think it's also important to note that when we say something like my type, what are we exactly referring to? Solely physical attributes, and just the physical appearance. And oftentimes, these aren't the things we talk about when we speak about love and what we love about each other. Yes, it's a factor, but I mean, it's hard to say, oh, that guy's not my type. It's like, well, that's just one variable of a human being. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like every guy that was your type had all the other attributes that you wanted, So maybe you're
arguably
kinda,
none of. Because if you're sleeping with
Well, there you
somebody
go.
based on a photo on Grindr, you're just looking to have sex, and it's like they were
am
arguably
so-
the worst people.
I don't know if we should get into this, but I kind of want to get into it. The thought of you being with somebody else makes me want to throw up. But like, I just can't imagine
I mean, it was my
You
early 20s, like 20 and 21, 22.
just meeting up with strangers and having sex with them.
Yeah.
Like,
Now I want everyone to pay very close attention. This is where we see Shane hide his judgment of Ryland's past by feigning wanting to understand his past.
Because I didn't want to date anyone,
But
but
can
I
you-
still wanted to like.
can you take us through the process of like, what does that even mean? Like, you get on the app.
Well, I think I got addicted to Grindr for a while and take like
Whoa.
sex. I mean, no, for real. I think. Did you ever do
deep.
Grindr, Chris?
Now, while I know Ryland is secure within himself and doesn't mind talking about his past experience, right here we see a bit of hesitance by way of him looking over to Chris to have him back him up on what the dating app is like. But watch what happens.
I've never been on a dating app. I'm not someone who's ever been interested in a hookup. I've never really just hooked up with anyone. I've been with very few people in my life. I'm paranoid of STDs, is a whole other thing. But I don't know. I'm very I'm like a hopeless romantic. I need to feel in love and feel things and care for the person before I can't just have sex with anybody. My penis is linked to my heart and it won't work if it's not feeling something.
Womp, womp, womp. Chris is telling the audience not everyone is promiscuous because they are looking for love. Ryland, you have no backup, no reinforcement. You're on your own. Now what?
Put up that on a coffee cup.
and Shane will buy it.
My penis is linked to my heart.
You have to give my heart a boner first. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
Oh my, you see his face? Ugh, he feels it. Nobody in the room is going to give him any grace about his behavior, but they still want him to go into detail for curiosity's sake and to entertain the masses. Now explain to me why the entire world needs to hear details about your past risky exploits. I understand you telling your partner were necessary, but all of YouTube?
I'm just curious. Like, take me through the process. This was how many years ago?
When I was 20. Because I wasn't looking for someone to date.
Okay, I don't need the fluff.
Ryan was being understandably defensive because he, I'm assuming, can feel he's being attacked. And this is where Shane could have tailored the conversation more delicately for his fiance's sake. Well, let's see what he does.
Like, what was your profile picture? What were you putting out there? What was your name?
Depends. Well, Grindr's different. Grindr is like 1% of the population on Grindr is looking for a relationship. It's living in Hollywood. It's a never-ending scroll of pictures, and you log on to Grindr, and it's like, and you have all these messages of people that potentially want to sleep with you. And people are very to the point. They're like height, top, bottom, verse. Like, they're very to the point. And then it's like scheduling a meetup.
You don't FaceTime them or anything to make sure they're not...
No, I mean, you could message back and forth for like a day if you really wanted to fill it out and try
too
to make
much.
sure that they're not going to kill you.
So then you go to their house.
Yeah, and you never know what you're walking into. It's
That is
crazy.
so scary.
It's crazy, but it like makes you feel something. That's
What
for
was
sure.
like the weirdest thing you ever walked into?
Oh, lots of different walks of life. That's for sure. Like it was,
What does that mean?
just like so, like DJ, like so many different
DJs?
career paths. Like
You
people
fucking
like
DJ?
music.
I'm guessing there's a lot of DJs on Grindr. I'm thinking that 80% DJs, you know?
I mean, no offense to DJs, but you fucked a DJ?
Yeah.
Sucks to be you, Ryland. Can you imagine a group of people sitting around you critiquing your choices like that? I'm gonna take a guess and say Ryland is not the least bit happy right now.
The dick jockey.
The thought of you fucking someone makes me want to die, but I want to know more for some reason.
I feel like
Ryland, please believe what Shane is telling you right now. And I know he doesn't believe it because if he did, he would shut his mouth, but he didn't. Because the more you tell him about your past, is the more he will resent you for it. And if he hasn't let you know directly he's upset about it, he's letting that resentment out to you in other ways where you don't even know where it's coming from. That's the scary part.
feels like a lifetime
Does it
ago.
make
though.
it?
So then what do you... Okay, but here's my question, because I don't understand casual sex, right? So I'm trying to figure this out.
You
So-
kind of just get down to business.
So, okay, yeah, that's what I'm asking. So, okay, you knock on my... Bing, bing.
A lot of times you'll like open the door and then you'll kind of just like say hi, hug.
I
start
am gonna
kissing.
barf. This is
It's
so
like,
weird.
And every experience is so awkward and weird, and that's what makes it like thrilling and crazy because like you don't know what like it's just so crazy, and that's I think the fun of it.
Okay, so now... Okay, so you're doing it. So now you're like, okay, I'm going to fuck the DJ. You fuck the DJ. Then what?
You leave.
Do you review them? Do you give them like 5 stars? Is there some sort of a star rating system on Grindr?
There should be.
There should be.
You want to know the most sad moment of it?
Okay.
Don't, Ryland, don't. If it's a deep, dark secret, don't share it with these people. You're not in a safe place. Don't do it.
So I'm like in my bed scrolling Grindr, 22 years old, probably 21. And we like make plans to meet up. And I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. And then he didn't reply. And then when I was like, okay, I'm outside because I walked because it was close, he like wasn't replying. So I wait like 7 minutes because I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's showering or something. He has another guy arriving and he was trying to ghost me because he found somebody he wanted to sleep with more than me. Most awkward moment of my life because then he comes out to meet the other guy, but I'm still there. And then we had like this weird 3-way encounter. And then he was like, well, I guess you could come in with us. And I was like, no, man, I'm not that desperate. I'm good.
Was the other guy more attractive than you, do you think?
I don't know. I guess it was just somebody more his
For
type.
the sake of the story, can you say that?
Yeah.
Okay, because that makes me feel so good.
It was awful.
And there you go. One of the saddest moments thrown out there into a world that doesn't care. Because how can we care any more than the people next to you in that room, Ryland? think about it.
But I love you so much.
It was
but, like,
awful. In an awful world where we broke up, I wouldn't go back to that life ever. It was awful. I mean, it was fun
Are you
for a
thinking
while.
about us breaking up?
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not something I would choose in my 30s in a world where we even broke
But
up.
like, how do I compare to like, you know, all of the rest?
Oh, I mean, you're uncomparable to all of it because I actually love you.
See, he did it.
What?
That's what I mean. You should have stopped before you said because I love you.
Wait,
Well, that's
he loves you.
but none of them I didn't even get to know any of them. So like, and I didn't. If it was mind blowing,
You
I
heard
would.
it, right?
Uh-oh, here we go again. Life with Shane and Ryland. Life with
Okay, quick question. Did any of you understand why Shane was upset? I legit had to listen to it 3 times because I could not understand why Ryland saying he loves Shane could ever be taken as a bad thing. But do you see how Shane was able to twist something good into something bad so easily? Here's the thing with people like Shane who have money. They will always find people to be around them. Because of their awesome personality? No, because of their money. So what happens is, it's harder for Shane to realize how toxic he is because everyone around him tolerates him. Even more than tolerate him. They laugh, they praise him as if he's the best thing on earth because he provides all of them a way to make a more than decent living. That's why Ryland can lash out at everyone in the world but Shane for how he's being treated. For now, at least, Ryland's accepted his role as being Shane's figurative punching bag. And that, my friends, is unfortunate.